Hello and welcome to this tutorial series in which we will be learning how to create our first terrain with Gaea. We'll be starting with the interface and learn how to create our first terrain, texture it and export for our use in any 3D software or a game engine. So let's get started. If you head over to the official website of Quad Spinner Gaea, you'll see the download button here. If you go through the download tab, you will see two versions, one of which is the production ready stable version and another is a bleeding edge beta version. Bleeding edge has some of the features which are currently in development, so it's not fully stable, but it's not fully ready for production, but you can get all of the new features that you get. So this is the version 1.3.0.8 which we'll be using for this tutorial series. So this is what you get when you first open Gaea, this small window right here. On the right side you have all of the recent files that you opened, and you can click on open file and choose any of the TOR files from your local storage. And these are some of the presets that you get with Gaea. And when you click right here, you get all of the advanced terrains that are created already for you. So this is for all of these, and if you want a blank project, you can click blank and it will give you a fresh graph to start building your terrain on. So let's get started. We'll start with, let's say, Hero Mountain. This is what you'll get when you open up Gaea for the first time. This is our viewport, and this is our node graph. So if you see these buttons right here, this is where it is written 2D. It is our 2D viewport, which will look up top down to our terrain and show us what it looks like. If you click this right here, it will show us the height map, which is driving the terrain right here. And if you click this equalize button, it will equalize the height map to better show us what's going on around here. So you can click this button and toggle the 2D graph on and off. Here we have the viewport resolution. So it starts from 512 by 512 all the way over to the 4K. Usually you'd want to work somewhere in between, like 0.5 or 1K. Higher resolution will use up more of your resources, so you don't want to work at higher resolution all the time, but you still want to switch over to the higher resolution in between to see the difference between all of them when you are making the terrain. So to navigate around in the viewport, you'd use the mouse scroll wheel to zoom in and out, and the mouse middle button to pan the viewport. And if you click Alt plus left click, you can rotate it around. And if you are somewhere in the area and you want to reset the viewport, you just click space and it will reset the terrain back into its original position. Then you can rotate around. Click here Gaea and go to preferences, and in navigation you can see all of these right here, and you can change it to another. If you want, you can change the sensitivity of all the settings that you see right here. In the settings, if you go to paths, then you can change all of the paths that Gaea uses. In the workspace, you can choose all of the different type node styles, the connection styles, node color, and the quality. You can play around with these settings to see what fits you best. In the viewport around here, you can see the direction. So if you say this is north and you rotate around, then it will rotate just so you have a sense of direction. And down here, if you click this button right here, you can turn it on and off, and the button below it is for the grid, so you can toggle the grid on and off right here. And there is a button right here which will show us the reference grid used for tile builds, so you can see what's going on, what tile is where. And on the top around here you can switch between the normal navigation view and the first person view. Down here this is our node graph, where you can put all of these nodes and do your operations. And right here you can click and add a new graph. Technically you can have infinite graphs from right here. You can click this button right here and navigate to your graphs quickly, or you can just click here and navigate to your graphs. And you can right here, if you right click, you can rename your graph, and you can choose a color for your graph so that it's more visible to you. And you can delete any graphs from here by clicking delete. To access the properties of a node, you right click on it and there you'll have all the properties you need. You also have these properties right here and down here, these three and all of these. So these are the same as all of these settings right here. So you can rename your node, you can duplicate your node, and sometimes when you change some of the settings and you don't see it updating right here in the viewport, you can simply go here and refresh it, and it will update based on the settings. And you can also click this button right here, it will reload this. If you have one node and you click refresh right here, then it will refresh the selected node. You can select several and refresh, or you can click somewhere around here and none of the nodes is selected, and when you click it will refresh all of the nodes in our graph. Now come to this show as. When it's default, it will take the node and it will show it as how it's supposed to. So let's say if you are using a primitive like a mountain, then it will show it as a terrain. But if you go to the colors and you choose, let's say, like a texture or a set map, then it will show it as a color, and you can change it for any of the nodes. So you can, let's say, see that a mask, so it will, if you see in the 2D, it shows you as a mask, and if you go to as terrain, then it will show you as terrain. You can do that for any of the graph. Bypass will disable this node right here. So if you have a big node graph, let's say, so say you have this graph and you want to see what would happen if the wizard node is not there. So you right click, click bypass, or you press B as the hotkey for it. So if you go to Stratify now, it will show us without the wizard node, but if you click B again or right click and bypass, uncheck it, then it will apply the wizard. Another, if you notice when you click on any node, then it will update in the viewport. So if you click pin, then you click on other nodes, then you will see the pin node. So you can click on all the other nodes, but it will show the Stratify. So you can change some settings right here, and it will update the Stratify, so you can see the final result right here. So this is what pin is for. And the other one, which is called as pin as underlay. So what happens is, let's say you put a set map to it, which will assign this random color to it. So if you see right here, this is the color that is being applied to our terrain. So if you were to click pin as underlay, then all of the 2D textures that you are viewing will be applied on this 3D terrain right here. So this is what pin as underlay is for. Then if you click mark on export, then obviously this will mark this node and all of its output as export. So if you go right here in the build, then and you click mark as export, you can see that this first it will show the name of the graph it is in, and then it will show all of the nodes that are in the graph. And since it has only one output, it's showing only one output right here. You can have, let's say, if you click on wizard and mark for export, you can see this has 4 outputs right here. So in wizard you see there are 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 of the outputs right here. You can choose to untick any of them, so it will only export 3 of them right here. We'll come back to it in a different video, and I'll be explaining all of these build settings. So currently let's go back to this, And let's say you have a big graph and you want to move back to this stratify node. So you right click, you mark it as our favorite, and let's say you are working in this graph here and you want to go back to that node. You select it as favorite, you go right here, and this will show all of the favorite nodes that you added. And when you click on this, then you just move back to this node. So if you want to, let's say, favorite this, then you click here, add select, or you can select it from here and mark as favorite. Use the hotkey. Mountain will also be there. You can click on it and it will move you back to the mountain node. Another is, let's say you want to bake this right here, so that when you change all of the settings right here, you don't want it to build every time you do that. So you click on bake, you choose your resolution, and then you click bake selected. So it will take this node and bake it right here, or you can right click and bake it from right here. This is what bake will do. And we can click cache graph on close, so that every time you open this project, you don't have to build all of the nodes from start. It will cache them, and say you want to move these two nodes in some other graphs. Okay. So you select these nodes, you click on here, move selected nodes to any of the graphs that you have created. So let's say you move it to graph 2, it will move those nodes to the graph, and the connection will automatically be made right here. I'll explain what it is doing here later. And then there is collapse, what collapse will do is say this is the node and it is taking up this much space. So if you click collapse, then it will shorten the node length. If you click it again, then it's again back to its normal length. There is hotkey F11 for it, so if you press F11 it will shorten it. And then there is get name from parent. So what get name from parent will do is, this is what we get. And there is note. If you write any details about this note, like why you are using it here, and you click OK. So when you click this node, you see right here it will show us what the note is. So if we click mountain, there is no note on the mountain, so it will only work when you click on it. So here is your node, or you can just hover over it and it will show the note right here. Then the next is bake, which we can discuss earlier. Then there is delete, which will delete the node, and there is copy settings and paste settings. What copy setting, paste setting will do is, let's say you have another mountain node and you want to copy this over to this mountain. So what you will do is right click, copy settings, come to this one and paste settings. So it will take all of the settings from this mountain node and move them over to this mountain node. So now both of these are similar. The last setting, which is called the preset, it's to save these settings. Let's say you have these settings right here and you are liking what shape it's making, so you want to save it so that you can use it later. So you go to create preset, you name the preset, let's say low mountain, and you give it a description of what it is doing and all. Then you click save preset. To access the preset, you right click preset, and there it is, low mountain. There are already 2 presets which Gaea gives you, and you can import presets from here. So if you have a 5 preset file, you can click on it and import the preset from right here. You can access all of these settings down from right here. Here you have delete, the reset node, and the mark for export, and all of these settings can be found right here. So you can access them faster from down here. And if you see right here, these are all of the properties. You click this button right here and you can see the settings right here. So you can reset the node to defaults, auto apply. Some of the nodes which are heavier, let's say like erosion. So if you want to put a node right here, you can directly take it from here and put it here, or you can right click and type, let's say erosion, go to erosion, click enter, and here it is erosion. So since erosion is a node which has lots of processing, so let's say you have changed some of the settings, then it will give this apply changes, so it won't change every time you change the setting right here. So you can change the settings however you like and then click apply changes, or you can click this button right here and it will auto apply all of the settings that you choose. Now this is the revert node. What it will do is, let's say you are working in the graph, you went somewhere around here, and let's say you want to change the erosion from down here. So you change the erosion, you change bunch of settings, and now you think that the settings that were earlier were better. So before moving it to another node, if you click right here and click revert node, then it will change all of the settings back to what it were when you first clicked this node. To change any of the settings, you can just slide it out here, or you can click and put the value right here. Or if you want granular control over things, you can always right click and type any values. So let's say for 54, press enter, it will type it right here. Or you can, this will increase it by 1, this will increase it by 10, this will increase it to the maximum, and similarly on this one, this will decrease it to the minimum, and this will decrease it by 1, decrease it by 10, and these two, this will half the value. So if it's 89, it will half 45, and this will double the value to 89 again. And so since you can see these are all the integers here, so if you were to type 64.5 and click enter, it will show here 65, but it is actually 64.5. so you can say, let's say 64.8, and you can see it is changing right here. It's showing 65 here, but it's actually 64.8. And finally this middle one, it will reset it to default. So this is how you change the settings. This is our toolbox where we have all of the nodes that Gaea have. You can just click any of these and drag it down to the graph, or you can click on a node and drag it down and drop it on the node, then it will connect it directly. So you can connect multiple from one output, but you can only put one in the input. So if you want to, let's say, delete this connection right here, you click on the line and you press delete, it will delete the connection. And you can just, and another way which we see right here, it's connecting it by wirelessly by a portal. So to create a portal, you would drag it out, and in the option menu it will give us the make portal. So there will be a portal name constant that we can connect to any node in any of the graphs. So let's say you go to this graph and you want to put this right here, so you drag it and go to portals and click constant, so it will connect it to that constant node that we have right here. Another way to do it is to open the connect menu. So if you click on any node and press C, it will show us the connect menu. So here you can convert all of its output to portals. Since it has only one output here, it can only convert this to portal. So it will sever all of the connection it already has and put portals around the area. So if you were to do the same for this erosion node, then there are 4 output which you can convert any of them to the portal, or you can just simply drag it, make portal. And if you notice, if you drag it right here, it will show us the suggested nodes. So what this is, it will look up to your pattern of how you do things and suggest the nodes that you use frequently with that output right here. Or you can choose some of your favorite nodes from here. Now coming to the toolbar, if you were to expand it, so here are the toolbar settings. So you can choose the toolbar position. If you choose full, then it will put the toolbar in here fully, and if you put it to top, then it will only show it to the side by side to the viewport. If you were to put it bottom, then it will show side by side to your graph. So let's say we put full so we can see them better. So these are all the nodes, and if you click this right here, it will show which of the nodes that you use the most. So we'll be putting it down here. So you can change how the list is placed, and you can toggle this from right here. Here we have all the different types of nodes, so the primitives, geoprimitives, the warp, adjustment, then erosion. There are these many types of erosion that you can apply to a terrain. Then there is data and color. We will discuss them in the next video. You can click save right here, or you can go here and click save or save as. The save incremental, what it will do is it will take the file name hero and it will add number. So the first incremental would be hero 001, again hero 002. It is useful when you like this seed but you want to try different seeds, so you click in incremental, it will show save a different file. Now you can go around here, change your seed, and your terrain will change. In the incrementals we can change the seeds, we can have as many incrementals as we want. Input graph, so let's say you have this graph and you like it and you would want to use this as you would like to use it in all of the other projects that you have. So you would go to here and click export graph. It will save a file name as .graphlet that you can import in a new landscape. So let's say I want to import it. So we will go to a blank. You would go here, import, and go to your graph, and here we have imported that graph. So when you import, it will automatically create a new graph and put all of the nodes there. Click on it to go one step back, or you can click here and expand, and let's say you change the range scale from 82 to 67. So this will show what the recent steps you make. You can go back to those steps, and when you redo, similarly it will be available what you redo and all of the steps that you can move directly to. In the buttons right here at the bottom, this one is our it is showing how much memory is used and all of the cache. You can click compact to free up some space, and you can click terrain cache to delete all of the cache that we have created with our terrain. And this one right here is our baked memory. So if we were to clear all, it will clear all of the baked stuff that we have, and then this will clear any bake which is older than 1 day, 3 day, a week. You can open the folder and see all of the data right here. So previously we baked the hero, so this is the bake. You can delete it from here directly, or you can go here and clear all. Here we have our terrain built. So if we click on build time, it will show us which node took the longest to build and all of that information. So let's say these rugged are taking most of the times right here, and all of the nodes are down here. This is our statistics. We can change it to all the different statistics that we are, like the most used nodes right here and the most connected nodes, and all of the statistics is right here. We can also access this from these settings right here. In the build settings, you click here and click statistics. You open this window right here, and this one which will suspend the engine. So let's say you are making something and you think it will crash, so you click this right here and then you save your files so that your data is not lost. You click on it again and it will start the engine back. And what the next one is doing, I'll show it from here. So this is the sample height. If you click on it, it will show what height our this pointer is at. It will show the height here. So let's say this is 5 meters from our ground. This is 0 0. This is 3 meters. So we can see which pixel is at what height in our viewport. If you click on it again, then it will go away. That's it for the video. Now we are familiar with Gaea's interface, and in the next video we will start creating our first terrain.